Okay, Radio Man here. We finally cracked the mystery of what was going on with FreeRes, and it was more simple than we anticipated. So this is just a test victim. To get my tracking generator going, I had hoped to use that computer here on my test bench, but it's technically a tablet. I know there's a keyboard here, but it's technically a tablet. It's a Windows tablet. I thought it'd be fine. It runs a full Windows operating system. And you guys had seen I posted some videos where, I had some minor success, but what would happen is I would go back and anything I got running on this laptop with FreeRes, it was like I'd take a step forward and go two back. So it was like trying to follow a methodical troubleshooting method to getting it going. It was like I'd get something to work and then go back the next day, and it was as if nothing was done. So I'm like, I was like, it's a software issue. I knew that much. But things were acting strange, and I started to suspect the tablet. So I had this, I bought this USB extension on Amazon, and it came in a 2-pack, right? I used the extension for another project, and I still had this. And I said, my desktop's over there at the radio position. It's not what I want to use, but let's just hook up to my desktop and see what happens. As you can see, one of the issues I had, I could not enable these ports. Well, so much for generating isn't much of an issue, but receiving or analyzing, you want the most sensitive port on your test set, which on the CRTU is port 4. So let me pause the video. So I got FreeRes running here, and all of this installed within a matter of minutes. And on the internet for information, let me show you a key site as well. Probably the most comprehensive amount of information is a guy on YouTube called, let me pause the video. There's a guy on YouTube, Rudy's Electronic Lab. And, there we go. And I followed his videos, and I noticed, let's get that, okay. And I noticed on my computer, for whatever reason, for those of you kind of following along here, you see where it says 3 and 1. Well, 3 is the primary address of the GPIB adapter, and 1 is the secondary address, which is the RF non-signaling device. For whatever reason, when I installed it on my laptop, it was not seeing the secondary address, although I could communicate with it. And Rudy's video is like 4 or 5 years old, and I chalked it up to, so in this software, I could send commands to the secondary address. And I thought, okay, I'm okay. I wasn't sure, and there's not a lot of information. So I had that suspicion when I initially installed on the tablet. So something weird with the tablet and communicating with the GPIB device. So what I was seeing was 3.0. It wouldn't see the secondary address, but there's communication tools here, and I could communicate with the secondary address, as you can see. So when I followed Rudy's video, this was an anomaly that wasn't the same, and I wasn't sure because mine looked different and I still communicated with it. So I thought I was okay, because the version that Rudy uses in his video is much older than mine. This is a 2025 version. And I think his video, like I said, is like 4 or 5 years old. But anyways, so that was issue number 1. So when I installed it on this desktop, immediately everything matched up here with Rudy's video. And one thing that is nice about Keysight is this nifty little I/O monitor, and I could monitor the packets. And what I noticed when I was using FreeRes, even though I was saying, hey, use port 4 here and port 3 here, it was coming up port 2 in here. So there were some weird anomalies. Immediately when I went to this desktop, all those anomalies went away. So, you know, yes, there's a proper procedure. You know, you null out your cables, you normalize the instrument and all that jazz. Let's see here. We want to display sweep settings. But we're just going to sweep a filter real quick just to show you that this works. Okay? So, fully aware that, you know, there's more to be done before you do a sweep on it anyways to get the most accurate results. But the idea is that now I'm able to, in the software over there, change these ports around, which I couldn't do before. So we are working now. So what I need to do now is, it is not ideal to have this cord. My test bench is over here in this part of the room. That's my radio operating position over there. So I'm just gonna get like an inexpensive small form factor desktop, and it doesn't even need to be on the internet, quite honestly. If I need to get on the internet, I got that computer over to my my right, and I have this laptop that is perfectly fine. So I think I'm just gonna get like a small form factor PC, and I don't know, maybe I'll mount it up on the wall. I don't, well, that's probably a little too far. I guess it'll depend on the size of the monitor. But anyways, I'll get a small form factor PC with a wireless keyboard and whatnot, and it'll just go up here, because primarily 90% of what I'm gonna be doing I can just do from the front of this thing. To have the tracking generator option, I won't use all the time, but I'm gonna need it. I can still use the spectrum analyzer from here, and that's fine, no problem. Like I said, if like I said, you know, looking more in depth at antennas, more in depth in filter circuits, looking, you know, maybe building coax assemblies. I know there's a lot of controversy about nulled coax assemblies, but if you wanted to build a coax assembly and sweep it for a particular frequency, just to make sure that you made your connectors okay and everything looks fine, you know, you can do that. So anyways, so yeah, we got, now obviously I could change the resolution bandwidth here, but I know that I put a -10 signal in, and I only went from 10 megahertz up to 100. So that low pass filter, it looks like at about 39 megahertz or something, it rolls off very hard with a very with a lot of attenuation, about 110 dB, or excuse me, minus tau. So from you know, from here to here, you got about 100 dB, which is about 54 megahertz. And then anything beyond that, we got about 70 dB, I guess. Now, if I lowered the resolution bandwidth, and I could get, you know, but the point of this video is that just to get it to work. So just wanted to show you guys that. So this is the latest version of Freres 5.3.0. Also using the latest version of Keysight, which is, this is all free software. You can just download this from Keysight. So there you go, guys. So anyways, I guess that's about all I can say. Thanks for watching.